What is up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shocker, the nicest hedgehog here, going for the TBL Week 8 Team Builder. If you guys are excited, like, you haven't already, subscribe. If you are new, join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be feeling with the king of the crew. And with that being said, let's get into this Team Builder. So if you guys don't know, we did win last week. Spoiler alert if you haven't saw that already. We did win last week against Hef and his St. Louis Charizards in a very close game. Really good game, though. Really good game against him where he brought double banded. I'm gonna assume double banded on his excuse me on his Mienshao and his Landers, which I was not expecting at all. So really good games to him. And right now we're in for a tough matchup coming up. We're going against Playmaker in the lands of Victory Stars. Playmaker's been somewhat of a big name in the draft league community in the Wi-Fi scene. He's been definitely in some big leagues, so we're definitely got our work cut out for us this week going into this matchup. But if you guys are excited, I keep doing that. My mind space is off in the morning. So, anyways, looking at Playmaker's team, he's got Garchomp, Cinderace, Crustle, Carbonite, Blastoise, Miltank, Gardevoir, Absol, Mudchamp, and Roserade. He's definitely been around the top 5, if top 10 for the... He's definitely been relatively ranked high on the power rankings, so he's definitely a tough opponent. I think he's got a really good team against us and matchup-wise. I think this is just a really bad matchup for my team. I only have like a few good things to bring against him. He has a couple of things that I just cannot get around effectively, so it's going to be a very interesting matchup. So, but Playmaker, we're both going to this matchup 5-2. He could choose not to bring a very serious team against me. He could choose to do that and just gauge what I want to bring versus him. He could do that, which would definitely be smart on his end. Excuse me. Which is definitely smart on his end. It definitely could be a smart bring from him to bring against my team, and then force me to kind of bring it. Because I think if I win this game, I could clinch. Gold is in the position, though, where he has to kind of win out to make guarantee himself potentially playoffs, or he needs to at least win 2 of his last 3 games. I mean, yeah. But everything's not said and done yet. Again, it's top 3 in each division. We are ranked number 2 in the league. We're tied with Playmaker. This will determine who will be ranked at number 2, and who will be ranked number 3 in the league. Whoever's ranked number 3 has to give a bit of a stronger fighting chance. Whoever's ranked number 2 can afford at least 1 mess up or 2, depending on the matchup. So, enough of the details. Let's break down this matchup. So, looking at his team, I don't think Roserade comes. Roserade doesn't really match up that well against my team in terms of just offensive and just what he can do. He could bring it for spike stacking versus toxic spike stacking, because I don't think he would round to bring toxic spikes. He definitely would bring spikes. Mudchamp's not a terrible mono bring against our team. I think it's definitely forced to be a Vested, though, if it comes. I don't know if I would see no guard. I would probably see more of Guts, probably, in that type of regard. Sense. Excuse me. The only time I can see him bring no guard if he's just bringing Stone Edges versus Archeops, and maybe just a Stone Edge to hit things like my Volcania and stuff like that. Otherwise, and this also was a redynamic punch, but again, he's got to be forced to potentially bring just a rock, ground, has to bring a bullet punch as a fairy type move to hit Sylveon, and then it literally just has to figure out its last coverage move. So I don't think it comes from that. Absol is very annoying versus us. Dark typing is just really annoying, especially the coverage Absol has. So Absol is definitely a bit of a problem. It's not the greatest versus us, just because we have really good speed tiers against his Absol, so I think it's going to be a bit of a problem for him to bring that. I do think the Gardevoir has a good, strong chance of showing up as well. It definitely comes over unless it comes to the Miltank. This thing is definitely going to most likely be a choice Scarfer for this matchup. I think it's Scarf Gardevoir is just super, super scary versus us. He could not bring Scarf Gardevoir in case he's just not feeling like he's got the moveset for his team. If you also think about it, when it comes to things like Nidoqueen plus Hydreigon, he's very much going to have to be playing a lot of 50-50s because of the fact that I can easily swap out and go into something, and then he's got the other half that he's stuck with. So it's definitely going to be something he's going to struggle with if he's not careful. So Definitely something to note there. But for his main six, Garchomp rips me open. I have no good safe switches to Garchomp on my team at all. I don't have a grass type that can really do the job. I don't have a bug type, so it's gonna be hard to bring. And even if I have that, he's got Cinderace, which is one of the best mons in this generation. It's definitely like top 10 for sure. Best mons to use, and it's just super hard. I do think there's a good chance he brings bleh, Cross Stall. Shell Smash Crustle is definitely a bit of an issue, but he could just rock a Heavy Duty Boots defensive set with Stealth Rocks. Because he can't realistically go dual stab. I mean, he could realistically go dual stab, but then he's relying on hitting stone edges, where I think he can run ground coverage is much better. But there and also has an Aegislash there, so he would have to run Earthquake. So he could just rock Boots with a bit of a defensive set versus an offensive Shell Smash set, which is very possible. Corviknight, very, very annoying mon this game. I could see potentially Roost Bulk up, dual stab. I could see him running. I think it gets. Does this get a special? Does this thing get Dark Pulse or something? Let's actually look that up right now. I'm trying to think because he could run a Nasty Plot set. He's got Assurance, which that would force him then to run Assurance and then either a choice between Flying and Steel move, which he would most likely need the Flying move because Steel would not make that much sense against my team. Even though Flying's a little less, but Flying makes it a little more better against my team. So Corviknight, very annoying mon. I do expect him to bring Mirror Armor because he knows that Sylveon is a massive threat versus his team. Sylveon is actually a big issue for his team, just for the fact that Sylveon is allowed to just do a lot of things against his draft, with spamming Hybrid Voice plus Mystical Fire, really just destroying most of his mons, which is going to be something I hope he preps for, because if I see him prep for that, then he might think about it. And I might want to run the ones that I had again next time against him, but again, it just really depends on the matchup itself. But Blastoise, definitely see him running Shell Smash Blastoise, Shell Smash Blastoise. I don't have really good switch-ins to. I don't have anything really having for it. Like Lapras in this matchup is extremely nice, but with things having like Cross Soul and having a Machamp with no guard and having Cinderace there. I mean, I really want to bring Lapras. The problem I have with Lapras is this: Lapras is just checked really easily by things like Crustle. Crustle just needs one free good switch in, and then it can just pop off against me. But then again, there's also the fact that Corviknight could run Iron Defense also besides bulk up and run bulk with the body press, and I could just check me there. Um, I might change and actually put Lapras now because I keep looking at this and I really do like Lapras. The more and more I'm looking at this team, and I think I might add that. I don't know yet, but and also Miltank, give him a Stealth Rocker. I think he's definitely gonna have. If he brings Miltank, it's definitely gonna be his Rock Setter. It's probably most likely gonna have Stealth Rock, Miltank, probably Toxic, and then Body Slam is its only move potentially, or it could just be Stealth Rock and Toxic, or Toxic Miltank, one or the other, and then probably Earthquake, something like that, and then Body Slam. Because I really don't have the good switches to normal on my team, so definitely something to note there. So. With that being said, let's break down the team we're bringing this week. We're going to kick it off here with Luxray. Luxray not being able to do too much last game, but put us in a position to really win the game, which was really good there. With Agility, Ice Fang, Wild Charge, and Facade, basically the same set we brought last week, but a little bit different, running Jolly instead of Adamant this matchup, so there's that to point out there. We do outspeedy Scarf Chomp at this Agility speed, so again, if he is Scarf Chomp, does not outspeed me. I don't expect him to be Scarf Chomp, I expect him probably to be most likely Gachi Berry Chomp. And if I have to sack my Luxray, which is a valuable win condition in this match, to get that information, it's kind of worth it in my opinion, just because I can actually get some stuff in there, and plus it lets me know if he is scarfed. Excuse me. I can definitely scare out some of my opponents as well with potentially thinking of Scarf Luxray as well. So definitely there. Running a max attack, enough speed, where we again get the +2 we outspeed, and the rest in HP for bulk. Up next, we're kicking off with my Hula Mula, my Volcanion, and this is a very kind of risky set I could run, but I think it's a safe set I can run. We are running Specs Volcanion this week. We're finally running some offense with Volcanion, Scald, Steam Eruption, Fire Blast, and Flamethrower. We are running just a standards offensive Volcanion, and we're running enough speed to outspeed Blastoise. Now, this is to outspeed modest Blastoise. If he is timid Blastoise, I do not outspeed, and I cannot outspeed timid Blastoise no matter what I do. So we ran this speed to outspeed a modest Blastoise, which makes probably a little bit more sense against my team versus timid in my honest opinion. So definitely something to note there. But overall, I think Volcanion, besides I cannot talk. Jesus. Realistically, besides Blastoise, nothing on his team really takes water type attacks, and nothing on his team, besides from Garchomp and Blastoise, really take fire type attacks. So we are running 2 water moves and 2 fire moves just because they literally just do work against this team. Scald for burn changes, Steam Eruption burn changes, Fire Blast. You can look at all these moves basically for change to burn. I wanted to put Will-O-Wisp on that set with this Choice Spec set because I've done that type of thing before. But overall, I think this is better for me in the long run. Because I think it's more of a kind of like that safety net type of thing. You know, like it keeps me from regretting some of the plays I could make in this matchup from doing anything else. So definitely something to note there. But yeah. So Vicanian, really hope it doesn't work this matchup. Up next we have Joey Artoros, finally bringing Life Orb offensive Tauros this week. I think we actually brought it once before, but this is a standard offensive Tauros here with Iron Head, Body Slam, Ice Beam, and Fire Blast, Naive Nature, 60 in HP, help us to guarantee the 2 KOs and potentially an OHKO on the Garchomp. Again, if it's Yashi Berry, this is relatively a 2 KO. The Corviknight, it should be a guaranteed 2 KO unless he's actually super Spadev. But besides that, Ironhead checks the things that I cannot check, and then Body Slam just checks everything else in his team because he's also have a really good norm switching besides Crustle and Corviknight, and then I have coverage for both of those two. And the good thing is, if he really wants to bring in Crustle, I break Crustle sturdy, which is going to be really important. That's why I expect Crustle, if it's coming, is heavy boots this matchup versus White Herb. But then they leaves the option of he's got to be careful of Shadow Sneak from my Aegis Slash. And if he is Shell Smash, we scare him out and we just go into it, and then we just go from there. So it's going to be very interesting to say the least. So, but Tauros literally just puts in so much work in this matchup. Tauros is going to be just super offensive. It's enough speed to outspeed the Garchomp, which is very important there. I will make sure I also just double check these speed tiers just to make sure because I want to make sure we are not screwing up because I almost felt unpositive that we lost. Lost to Mienshao last week because I thought I didn't speed creep my Tauros, but I believe I actually changed my speed creep back on Tauros to be faster than Mienshao, which thank God I did. Up next, what are the mons that put in some good work last week? Let's bring back the special sets because the special set just looks so good in this matchup. I'm very risky in this matchup. I'm relying heavily on Flying Stab and Heat Wave this game. And that's kind of good and bad. It's bad because of the fact I don't have a rock move, which would really benefit from hitting things like having Ancient Power to benefit things hitting the Crustle and the Cinderace. But I think in the long run, it's not worth it. It doesn't do anything else to help me out here. But Meteor Beam is good, reliable. Meteor Beam into Air Slash does pretty much guarantee the KO on the Garchomp, which we have speed for. I don't want to burn my Meteor Beam on Garchomp, to be honest with you. But if I have to, I'd be willing to take the risk and just go ahead and burn it on the switch in there. So, but he does have to be careful if I am physical or special, so that's something to note there. This is a really good Scarf Mon in this matchup that he has to definitely be very scared of because this is a Mon that can definitely put a lot of work for him. Running Meteor Beam, Air Slash, Heat Wave, and Roost. Roost is there just because I could get my recovery back on the plays that I need to make. Again, this could also just 1v1 the Miltank, so if I get a Miltank is gone, then I can click Meteor Beam again and Miltank makes the switch out into the Garchomp as I clicked it and I released it on my next attack. There are opportunities I can get another Meteor Beam off potentially and actually be able to get another +1 if I play my cards right. So it's definitely going to be something that I think a lot of my opponent has to be very careful about that I can do. Heat Wave is strictly there for the Corviknight, so I can be able to 2 KO that once I hit +1. And also having the burn chances is really good. You can see the theme that this is about trying to burn his team. Burning his team is going to be really good because he has really good physical breakers. Again, Meteor Beam to Air Slash pretty much will always be Blastoise, so that's going to be something that's really good to know there. Meteor Beam will not just raw kill Blastoise, even though I wish it did. It won't. And then it's going to be up to him whether or not he thinks it's worth going for the Shell Smash in front of me or going for the attack in front of me. And depending on his Blastoise set as well. So definitely to note there. Coming up next, still in the top three for kill leaders after so many weeks, we have our Nidoqueen here, Indigo here with Taunt, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Thunder. We're bringing Thunder for the third week in a row. Thunder has been good or reliable for us, which is really nice. 60 HP, max special attack with the Timid Nature, 188 speed. The speed lets me outspeed Blastoise, which is modest, which is really important to note there. Taunt is kind of a necessary thing on this set because Taunt stops Blastoise from setting up. It stops Crustle from setting up. Like, anytime I'm 1v1ing against Crustle, I'm clicking Taunt. So that way that thing cannot do anything towards me. Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Thunder literally just cover a good part of his draft for the most part. I realistically don't think I need Sludge Wave because of the fact that it only really helps me against some of his mons, but aren't really necessary. Where Earth Power is a little bit more. It's not exactly stronger, but it gives me a real reliable stab to kind of click. Thunder is also a really good move to have against the Corviknight because I can go Thunder into Ice Beam, which should always kill the Corviknight potentially, depending on how bulky it is. If it's a Super Spadef, I have to land 2 Thunders to KO here. But if it's not Super Spadef and it's more Fizdef, I'll Thunder into Ice Beam should always guarantee the KO there. We do have Taunt there to shut down, like I said, the Shell Smasher, so it also stops any of his Stealth Rockers from doing anything, and also can just stop his Corviknight from setting up as well. So I think it's very necessary for this Mon to put on Taunt in that regard. And last but not least, we have Shadow, our Aegislash here with Iron Defense, Bite, King Shield, Shadow Bolt, and Flash Cannon. We're running full special again this week. Very much a risky set here, I think. This set needs to get at least an Iron Defense off before Garchomp and before Cinderace comes in. If I don't get my Iron Defense off, I cannot take any hit from those guys. So it's going to be very important that we pop that off. Now, I do need to bait him into thinking that I have Shadow Sneak. If I can bait him into thinking I have Shadow Sneak, it's gonna definitely prevent him from wanting to go into something that has been whittled down, and then leave that in the back for something like a Tauros or my Archeops to potentially pick off in the back. So it's definitely going to be very important for us to make sure we play our cards right with this Aegislash set. I really, really, really want to fit Shadow Sneak on this set. I honestly really, really do. But here's the problem with trying to sneak that set on there. It just can't work because I can't check that Miltank. Miltank has to come in order to check my Aegislash. Now, it could run Scrappy, I do understand that, but if I get my Iron Defenses off, it's not going to do anything against me. I do expect it to be Scrappy because of the fact I do have 2 Intimidators, and if he wanted to bring an offensive, Miltank definitely provides him a good offensive user. He could also potentially be the fact to also check my Volcanion, so again, some things I have to keep in mind. But yep, that is gonna be the team, guys. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull off a win this one, but I'm gonna try my very best, just because this is a tough matchup for me. But we're gonna do our best to try to fight off this a little bit of a nerve thing and stuff like that. Fight off the pressure of this matchup, and we're just gonna try to have some fun. And we're also gonna do our very best to just try to get into there and do what we can to win this matchup. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, give it a rate, subscribe if you're new. Join the Fish Crew today because you'll be feeling the crew. We are up to now 29 subs on the channel. Thank you all so much. We are roughly almost a fourth of the way back to the original 120 subs that I had before we started this channel. If we can get back there, but hopefully before the end of the year or the beginning of the year, that would be such a great accomplishment. I would appreciate it very much. But yeah, enough of me wasting you guys' time. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.